Welcome to Hard Surface Prop Creation from Scratch. In these 2 hours of course, I will teach you how you can create any hard surface prop from scratch which can be used in game engines. Hi, my name is Manish Tyagi and I will be your instructor throughout this course in which we will create this game ready fire hydrant which you have seen in the start, or you can click here to see the teaser using Blender, Substance Painter and Photoshop. And then we are going to render it out in Marmoset toolbag. Whether you are a complete beginner or you have some sort of knowledge about hard surface prop creation, this course will definitely gonna help you in your journey as a 3D artist. From the fundamentals and advanced techniques, you will gain the skills to create any hard surface prop from the scratch with ease. We will start by collecting the references, followed by blocking out the primary shapes and completing the model. Then I will show you how you can unwrap your model effectively utilizing the UV space properly. Then we have a separate video for importing your model to Substance Painter and baking its mesh maps. Then we will dive deep into Substance Painter and start by creating each material manually that we will be needing in our prop. Then we will collect some textures and create stencils in Photoshop to blend all the created materials in Substance Painter. Then we have a separate video for exporting texture maps from Substance with effective settings. After that, I have a special trick for you guys through which you can enhance your base color texture map even further. Then we will prepare our model with UDIMs to render it out in Marmoset toolbag. Because Marmoset does not support UDIMs as of now, I have figured out a way to use UDIMs in Marmoset, and at the end we will render our model in Marmoset toolbag. And I will also tell you how you can get portfolio ready renders and a turntable in Marmoset toolbag itself. That's not all. For complete beginners who doesn't even know how to navigate in these softwares, I have separate videos of navigation in all the softwares that we are going to use in this course. And you will get all of this knowledge in a price of a medium pizza. So what are you waiting for? I will see you in the first chapter. Hello and welcome everyone to the very first chapter of this course. In this chapter, we will read our references and block out our fire hydrant. Before starting any prop, make sure to collect enough reference for your prop and pick one as your main reference to build the model. As you can see, I have collected various type of fire hydrant and I will be using this one right here as my main reference. I will not be making our texture this much rusty, but I will be following the rust from this image. Also here I have collected some images of fire hydrant with humans to set it as real life sized as possible. The software I am using to view my references is PureRef. It's a donation based software. You can also download it for free from its website. Now let's jump to Blender and let's get started. Now let me just select all of these by pressing A, and let me press X and click to delete them. And let me start by adding a circle. So I'm gonna hit Shift A, mesh, and I'm going to add circle, and I'm gonna change its vertices from 32 to 16, and I'm gonna zoom into it by pressing number pad on my keyboard. Now according to my reference, I'm going to create this base first. So as I can see, let me just go to edit mode by pressing tab, and I'm gonna extrude this part first. So I'm gonna hit E and Z to extrude it like this. Now I'm gonna hit E and S to extrude and scale it something like this, and I'm gonna extrude it again along Z axis, and then I'm gonna hit E and S one more time to make it like this. Alright, now I'm gonna create this height. So I'm gonna go to front view mode by pressing 1 on my number pad, and I'm gonna hit E and Z to extrude it, and I'm gonna eyeball things here. So I think this much will be fine. Yes. Alright, now I'm going to create this part. So I'm gonna hit E and S to scale it up. I'm gonna drag it and I'm gonna scale it up till here. Then I'm gonna extrude it one more time. I think this much is enough, and I'm gonna extrude and scale it to close this gap. I'm gonna go to top view mode by pressing 7, and I'm gonna close this till here. Now what I want to do, first thing, I want to create this dome. So what I'll do, while keeping this edge ring selected, I'm gonna hit Shift S and drag my mouse cursor to select it and click it. Now my cursor is in middle of this ring. So now what I'll do, I'll hit Shift A and add a UV sphere. Make sure to change the segments of UV sphere to 16 as well. Now let's go to edit mode, and in wireframe view mode, select these bottom vertices and delete them. Now come out of edit mode, scale this UV sphere till we can see that edge ring. Basically we have to match this to our edge ring right here. I think this much is fine. Now I'm gonna go here and select vertex snap mode, and I'm gonna hit G and Z to grab it along Z axis and hold control to snap it to this vertex. Now it's on the same level of the fire hydrant. Now I will match the scaling of it by hitting S and Z. Now I will hit S and press Shift Z to scale it on X and Y axis, something like this, and again I'm gonna scale it
along z axis a bit. Now I have to make it a bit smaller like this to match it, and let's just reconfirm by pressing G and Z and snap it to the same vertex. Yes, it's fine. Scale it up a bit like this too. Now as I can see, this is done. Now I'm gonna create this top part. So how I'm gonna do that is basically I'm gonna go to edit mode. I'm gonna select face selection mode. Now I'm gonna select C to get my brush selection, and I'm gonna select these faces and delete them. And now I'm gonna select this edge ring, extrude it along Z axis like this, basically creating this step. Extrude and scale it, extrude it one more time, extrude and scale it again, and extrude it one more time, and fill it right here. We will create this part separately because I don't want to make this prop too much complicated. Now what we'll do, we'll join these two first of all. So how are we gonna do that? We're gonna select this one and then shift select this part and hit Ctrl J. Now we have to merge these vertices as well. Now so let's go to edit mode and we will merge them by using distance. So press A to select all of these vertices and press M to pop up your merge options and just select by distance. And as you can see at the bottom it says remove 16 vertices. So I'm assuming that these 16 vertices are now merged together. Let's check it once. Yes, they are merged and the work here is done. So now let's come to this part. So let me add a edge loop in here by hitting Ctrl R, and I'm gonna bevel it by hitting Ctrl B, and I'm gonna bevel it till here. Now I'm gonna add another edge loop in between them and scale it like this to create this shape. Now let's make it real size. So as I can see in this reference, the fire hydrant is this much tall of a human. So how I'm gonna do that is now I'm gonna press Shift C to get my cursor in the center of the origin, in the center of the world. Now I want all of you to go to edit, preference, under add-ons and search for Rigify and make sure it's enabled. Now save your preference and now press Shift A. Under armature you will see a human meta rig option. Press that, and if you slide it here, this is a real measurement human male. So now let me just scale down our fire hydrant. Okay, it's scaling from here. I want its origin to be at the 3D cursor, basically at the bottom of the world. So I'm gonna right click on it and I'm gonna click on set origin and I'm gonna select origin to 3D cursor. Now if I scale it down, it will scale from that origin. Now I'm just matching it till its height. I think this much is fine. And now we don't want this metallic, so I'm gonna delete that and let's continue our work in here. Now what I'm seeing we have to do is we have to create these three connection types. So how I'm gonna do that using Boolean operations. And now I want you to again go to edit preferences and this time search for pool tool add-on. Enable it, save your preference, and let's come to our model. Go to edit mode, select this edge at the very front. Make sure you are in front view mode, front orthographic. While this edge selected, press Shift S and select cursor to select it. And now I'm gonna add a now I'm gonna add a cylinder with 16 vertices. Scale it down, double tap R 90 degrees, scale it. Now we will scale it down till we can see it's merging properly and all these edges are connecting well. So now as you can see, these edges are now connecting well and it will be easier for Boolean operations to work. Now let's eyeball it and place it right here. While this is selected, shift select this one and hold Ctrl and hit plus on your number pad to give it a Boolean operation of addition. But right now as you can see, it's not working the way it should be. That's because we have our model hollow from below. Just go to edit mode, select this edge ring by double clicking. If your double clicking is not selecting, go to edit, preference, and under input, make sure you have your emulate 3 button mouse checked. And now if you double click on any edge ring, it will get select. Now press F to create a face in here and come out of edit mode. And now as you can see, our Boolean operation is working fine. Select this object, go to modifiers, and you can see we have a Boolean modifier already set it up. You have to just click apply on it and delete this object. Now we have this object to work with, and let's go to edit mode. First thing we have to do, we have to join them properly because right now as you can see it's not properly joined. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl R and create a edge ring right here. I'm gonna grab it along Z axis and hold Ctrl to snap it to this vertex. Alright, first of all, let's save our project right here. I'm gonna save it under the name fire hydrant. Let's delete this face, we don't want it. Now let's merge it by distance one more time, and let's increase this merging distance by holding shift, and I can see below it said remove 14 vertices, which now I am guessing it's these vertices only. Yes, they are merged together. Spend your 10 seconds in checking all of these vertices, otherwise you will get in problem in future. Now let's select this edge ring and place it right here. Now what we will do, we will just quickly add a subdivision surface modifier to it to check its normals. So I'm gonna hit Control 2 while selecting this model, and as you can see it has this sharp edge in here which we don't want. So I'm gonna go to edit mode, select all of these and hit Shift N to recalculate their normals, and now we can see a smooth transitions, and we want that only. Now let's just delete the subdivision, we don't want it right now. Now what we have to create, we have to create these two side holes as well. So how we're gonna do that is pretty simple. First of all, I'm gonna go to wireframe mode and I'm gonna select half of a model and delete the vertices. Now I will add a mirror modifier to it, enable clipping, select this middle line and check it. Alright, it's fine, so that we don't have to do the extra work twice. Now let's come to the left orthographic mode, select this vertex, shift S, cursor to select it to get a cursor right here. Again add a cylinder with 16 vertices, scale it down, double tap R, rotate it 90 degrees and again check where it will be fit. I guess this is where it should go, but this is way too big for our model. As you can see, this is a small cylinder, so I'm gonna scale it down and I'm gonna set it to here. I think this will work fine, and again I'm gonna shift select this one and hit Control plus. Right now you can see the mirror modifier is not working, so we have to select this mirror modifier and drag it down the stack, and now as you can see you have that hole at another side as well. Now I'm gonna select this boolean modifier and apply it and delete this cube, and delete that cylinder. Now let me just delete this face from here, and we have to do the same thing, but I guess first of all we can start by merging them by distance. So I'm going to select all of them, hit M and merge by distance. You can see it's removed 6 vertices. I guess this is merged, yes, this, and some of the vertices remains, so we have to do them manually. Okay, so go here and enable this auto vertex merge, and under options make sure your auto merge is checked. Now if you select this vertex and grab it and hold Control and snap to this vertex and release it, it will automatically get merged onto this vertex. Let's do the same with this one as well, and we have to do the same with these as well. All right, this one is left. All right, now I can see our vertices are merged together. Now I'm going to press Ctrl R and add an edge loop in here and add an edge loop in here as well. Now I'm going to select these two vertices and press J to make a connection here. I'm double tapping G to slide it along its edge. Now let me just connect this one here and this one here as well, and this one here. Let's do same for below vertices as well. Select them, press J, and now slide them around here and connect these and connect these. All right, okay, let's add one edge loop here and one here. Connect these, slide it, and we have to connect these and these as well. All right, now as you can see we have our connections intact. All right, now let's create this top part. How I'm gonna do that, it's very simple. Okay, let's first of all press F, fill this hole. Now I'm going to select this face, make sure get my cursor on top here, and now I'm gonna hit Shift A and I'm gonna add a cylinder with only 5 vertices, hence it's a pentagon. Here also you can see it's a pentagon. So these basically used for connecting pipes and they have to be in pentagon shape. Now let me just select this edge and hit Shift S and make sure my cursor is in the center. And now I'm going to select my object and hit Shift S again, but this time I'm going to select selection to cursor. Now I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to select this below face and get my cursor here and right click and set its origin to 3D cursor. Now if I grab it and snap it to this vertex, it will be on top of it, and now I can set how much big it is going to be. I think this is enough. Now let's create this part right here. So as I can see in the reference, I'm going to select this edge ring. I'm going to push it along x-axis till here because this is quite a smooth transition. Also it's not that far, so I'm gonna keep it right here, maybe this. And now I'm going to extrude it along x-axis, scale it down a bit like this, make sure that it's scaling in circular direction. Yeah, it's fine. Now I'm going to hit E and S and I am going to hit extrude again along x-axis, and I'm going to close this by pressing F. And now what I'll do, I'm gonna hit Shift S and make my cursor, move my cursor here, because I want to hit Shift D and duplicate this one. And I'm gonna hit Shift S once more, and I'm gonna select selection to cursor, and I'm going to rotate it like this. I'm gonna make it a bit longer, and yes, it will maybe a bit shorter. Now it's fine. I'm gonna add a mirror modifier to it. Select this as a mirror object and it will work fine. Let's bevel this edge like this and hit Alt E and extrude face along normals and drag it down to create this shape, and here we are done. Now we have to create this shape as well, but for before that we have to apply a mirror modifier, because if we select this edge and scale it, it will not scale in circular direction and that will mess up our shape. So first of all, get to object mode and apply this mirror modifier, and now we can create this. As I can see, this is also not so far from the main body, so I'm gonna grab it along y-axis like this and extrude it once along y-axis, scale it down a bit like this. Yes, it's fine. And okay, now I'm gonna press E and S to scale it, and I'm gonna scale it till here. Now I'm going to extrude it one more time along y-axis and press F to fill it. And now I'm gonna move my cursor here, and once more I am going to duplicate this. I'm gonna move it to the cursor and I'm gonna rotate it like this and scale it about here. I guess we can move it like this, and we can move this one also like this. Let me scale it with X and Y by hitting S and Shift Z to lock that axis basically, and I'm gonna scale it till about here. All right, now I am going to select this edge loop, hit Ctrl B to bevel it and extrude it along face normals and drag it down like this. Yes, I think it's way too big, so I'm gonna scale it down along y-axis a bit. Okay, now let's create this part of our fire hydrant which we have missed. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl R and add an edge loop in here, and I'm gonna hit SZ0 to scale it along z-axis 0 degrees to make it a straight edge loop. Now I'll bevel it by Ctrl B, and I'm going to hit Alt A again, extrude face along normals, and this time I'm gonna move it up like this. I guess this is fine. And now I will hit Ctrl R and I'm gonna hit Ctrl R and add an edge loop in here once more, and I'm gonna scale it like this. All right, I guess nothing's left as of now. I'm not going to make this chain or this ring. I'm only going to focus on our main model. All right, now we have to create these bolts. So for that, I want you to go to edit preference and under add-ons, and this time search for bolt. Make sure to check these bolt factory add-on. All of these add-ons are inbuilt in Blender, so you don't have to install them externally. Save your preference. Now if you hit Shift A under mesh, you will see an option called bolt. Just click it, zoom out a bit, and under its settings, I think this is fine only. Press slash on your number pad to go to local view mode and go to edit mode as well. Now this bolt is very dense and we don't want that actually, so I'm going to select these edges very quickly, and now I'm going to hit Ctrl X to delete them. Also I will delete these faces from top and give it a single face. I'm going to delete these faces as well, and these extra vertices also needs to be deleted. All right, in here also these loops and these loops are no need to be there, so I'm gonna hit Ctrl X and now I'm gonna hit Shift N to recalculate their normal ones, and this is the bolt we will work with. Press slash again to come out of the local view mode, scale them down, place them on top of it around here, smaller, and just grab them like this, and we don't want it to be under this, so we're gonna go to edit mode, hover over this part and press L, come out of the edit mode, grab it along Z axis and place it here. So now we will want these nuts. Again, we can go to bolt, add a bolt like this, and in settings, instead of bolt, just select nut and you're good to go. Go to edit mode. We have to delete these edges as well, so double click and select them and hit Ctrl X, delete these, delete this edge also, and it's good to go I guess. So just scale it down, place it in the position, go to add. I'm viewing it from bottom and we'll place it like here and around here. Yes, we can scale it along z axis a bit like this and we'll place it there. So these are the nuts and bolts and these needs to be replicate around all of it. So how we're gonna do that? It's pretty simple. Just go to top view mode, select this model, press shift S and select cursor to selected. Now change the transformation pivot point to 3D cursor. Now select these nut and bolt and hit shift D and press R, and it will rotate from this 3D cursor, which is the center of our model. And now just press shift R to repeat your actions and you're good to go. Now what I'll do, I'll also add these bolts in here. So I'm gonna copy this one and grab it along here and set it by looking at the wireframe, and yeah, set it around here. Delete these vertices, we don't want that. This is the placement I want for the bottom nuts, and again we'll just duplicate it like this. Shift T R and this, and shift R to just repeat my actions. Now one more thing is left to create, which is these shapes. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna go to edit mode in here and I'm gonna switch to face selection mode, and I'm gonna select these 4 faces of each alternate row. So you can just select these faces like this. Now just press Alt E, extrude face along normals, and you can just drag it down till here. I think this is fine. Okay, so this is our block out of the fire hydrant, and we will create high poly out of this in the next chapter. So I'll see you there. Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this chapter we will create high poly of this fire hydrant from our block out. So let's pick it up where we have left. First of all, just go to modifier and add a subdivision surface modifier to it. Right click and shade it smooth. Now let's go to edit mode, and now we have to add supporting edge loops. Make sure that every corner edge has its supporting loop. For example, this is a corner edge. Press slash to go in local view mode and press number pad on your keyboard to zoom into your selection. Delete this edge, we don't need that. So this is a corner edge. So I'm gonna hit I to insert an edge loop on top of it, and I'm gonna press Ctrl R to add an edge loop below it. So this corner edge has its pair of supporting loops, which is this one and this one. For example, this is also a corner edge below here. So I'm gonna go add an edge loop here and here. So we have to do this for each corner edges. Increase your levels for subdivision for viewport also to 2. Now you have to just keep adding supporting edge loops for every corner edge like I am doing right now. Alright, we have to do the same with here. Now if you have these type of edge loops, you can press E to get a yellow line, and you can see a red dot on top of this yellow line. You can flip this dot by pressing F. What this dot means is where this dot is, your edge loop will gain the shape of that area. So in this moment the dot is at the top of the yellow line. So if I move this edge loop at the top, it will make its shape according to that loop. And if I hit F and flip the dot, and now if I move my edge loop down, it will regain this shape. So in this case I'm gonna press F and drop the edge loop here. Same, press E and F. Alright, let's come here, press E and F. Make sure to watch the reference for the shape of it. It's a pretty smooth transition, so I think this edge loop is not needed here. One loop will be needing here and one here also. This is also not a hard transition, so I am leaving this. I'm leaving this edge as well, and for here just insert it like this. Add an edge loop here. Let's come here, press E and F. This is also a pretty smooth transition, so I'm leaving this till about there. All right, okay, not there, not there. Press E and F, press E here, and all right, press slash to get out of the local view mode. Now let's select these parts and press slash again, and I am going to use bevels for them. So I'm going to select one of these and go to edit mode, select all of them, press Ctrl B and move it and increase the segments while scrolling. And I guess these many segments are just fine. Now I'm going to shade them smooth, and I'm going to do that for all of these as well. Just go to edit mode, hit Ctrl B, and I guess these are fine. Yes. All right. Bolts already have that bevel, so I guess bolts will work just like that. I guess this one can be scaled up a bit. Okay, if your scaling is behaving like this, make sure to change your pivot back to median point. Now if you scale this, it will look fine. I'm gonna scale it, but I'm gonna hit Shift Z to not scale it along Z axis, maybe a bit. Okay, this is fine. Let me just double tap G on this edge loop to slide it like this. Alright, this looks fine to me.
So this was the chapter 2 of this course, and in the next chapter we will unwrap this fire hydrant. So I'll see you there.
Hello and welcome back to the course. As you may have noticed, I have switched to Blender 4.0, and in this chapter we will unwrap this fire hydrant and make it ready for Substance Painter. Before proceeding, keep in mind to try to place seams where they cannot be seen at front or in the main render. In this case, I will try to put my seams at the back of this hydrant. So let me just switch to UV editing workspace, and in here let me select my fire hydrant. Now I'm gonna go in local view mode, and now I will press Ctrl 1 to go to the back orthographic view. Now in edit mode, I'm gonna double click on this edge to select it, and I'm gonna hit Ctrl E, and I'm gonna select mark seam to get my first seam. Now I have cutted this object like this, and now I want to cut all these circular parts. So I'm gonna select this edge ring and I'm gonna place a seam here. What you can do here to save some time is you can hit Ctrl E, and while hovering over mark seam you can right click and select add to quick favorite, and now if you press Q you will see an option of mark seam. I'm gonna do the same with clear seam option as well, and I am going to press U and do the same with unwrap option as well. Now I'm going to select these two edges and I'm gonna clear seam from them. Let me just disable this subdivision for a moment. I'm gonna give this a seam, I'm gonna give this ring a seam, I'm going to give this ring a seam as well, one here, and I'm gonna give one seam at this ring as well. That's what I'm gonna do for the rest of these things. For these I'm going to select this edge ring and mark seam here, same goes for this one, and I'm going to select this ring as well to mark a seam in here. Now I'm gonna press A to select all of these, and then I'm gonna press my Q and unwrap. As you can see, it has a warning, object has non-uniform scale. So what we have to do, we have to come back to our object mode, hit Ctrl A, apply the scale for this, and once again I'm going to unwrap. Now it may seem good but it's not. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna split the screen here and I'm gonna select my shader editor. I'm going to give it a new material and I'm gonna press Shift A, and I'm gonna search for image texture, and I'm gonna click on new, and I'm gonna name it checker, give it a resolution of 4K, and I'm gonna select color grid in here. And now if I connect it and press Z and go to material preview mode, I can see this area is getting a lot of stretch, and these areas as well are getting a lot of stretch. One more thing, make sure to enable your subdivision and you will see a problem at the back of this. So subdivision level may occur some problem in your UVs, so this has a very quick solution. Under advanced, under UV smooth, you can choose keep corners and the problem of seam will be gone. Now we have to take care of this stretching issue. So what we can do in here is, let me just disable this subdivision again. I'm gonna select this edge ring, give it a seam, same goes for this and this one. One supporting loop is missing here, so I'm gonna add that right now. Then I'm going to separate this ring as well, same here, and same goes for here. Now what I will do, I will double click on this ring and I am going to double click on this ring as well and give it a seam, but I don't want any seam in this area, so I'm gonna clear seam from here. Also I'm not gonna get any seams in this area. You can select the whole array of edge by clicking one edge and hold your control key and click on the last edge you want to select, and then clear seam from here. Same you can do with this, and same goes for this. Now if you press A and unwrap them, you will see the stretchings are now gone. You have to check for each and every angle, and as you may have noticed, the stretching from these areas are now gone, they're not there. I guess this area have some. You can enable this sync selection. Now if you go to your face select mode, the shortcut is key 3 by the way, and if you hover over an island and press L to select that, you can select only that island. So this is the area causing issue. String also have to get their own seams, so I'm gonna do that now, and once again I'm gonna unwrap them. All right, but the stretching is still there. Let me select this. I think these need to be unwrapped flat, so I'm gonna select this edge from my UV editor, and now I'm going to, this edge is this one, so now I'm going to unwrap this. Sorry, I'm going to mark seam in here and I'm going to unwrap it once to check it's working or not. Yes, it's working, and if I select this UV island, I can see this has a flat UV now, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna do that for the rest of them. I think this edge selection is best for this one. I'm gonna mark seam, and for this also I'm gonna mark seam at this edge. Now if I unwrap it, it has no stretching issues, so that's good. Now let me check for any more issues if there are any in that area. Especially, I guess this also needs to be unwrapped flat, so I am gonna go to my back view and select one of the edge here, so I can select the whole ring from here. And now I'm going to mark seam and press on unwrap. Let me check this island. So it's here. All right, it's a bit curvy, so I guess I have to mark seam for every circular ring. And now if I unwrap it and let's check these. All right, let me check these. Okay, they're still curvy, so that means we have to mark seams for these edges as well, the inner ones. So I'm gonna press Q, mark seam, again Q and unwrap, and this time I think all of them are straight. Yes, don't worry about the positions of them, we will change them later. All right, this is circular, so we don't need any seam in here. Likewise, we don't need seams in here as well. And now we can just unwrap them and they will be fine. Okay, these are good, these are also good. You have to check for stretching at every angle and you cannot miss any of them. This curvy UV island also we have to fix, so the same thing. I think this edge needs to be marked as seam and this one as well, and at the back of them it's already there. Let me remove seam from here and from here as well, and now if I unwrap them, I guess there will be no curved UV islands. Yes, let me check this one. Okay, this is this. Okay, fine. Yes, it's looking fine now. So now we have to take care of this dome shape, which is not looking good. It has a lot of stretch and zigzag lines. This can't be there, so this area is this one. We have to do something for this, so let me just hit Ctrl I and hide everything else so we can work on it separately. What I think is causing the problem in here are these inserted shapes. So first of all, we have to select them. So I guess we have to select these and mark them as seams. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna mark seams from here. Also, I'm going to mark seam for these corner edges. I'm gonna mark seam and I'm going to unwrap them separately. Later we will adjust the size of these, obviously. And as of now, I can see the inner parts are looking fine, just not here. Something is going on in here, I think. Okay, nothing is there. Okay, all right, they're fine, but we have to do something for this outer layer, which is not looking that good. So I think what can cause the issue in here, I'm just gonna double click on this edge and on this edge, and likewise I'm going to do the same with the opposite edge like this and this one, and I'm gonna mark seam for them. And now if I try to unwrap it, I think they should be fine. Yes, they are fine. It's just that they are in the wrong orientation, which we will fix, but they are looking just fine. All right, so now just hit Alt H to unhide all of them, select all, and once again just unwrap them like this. Okay, let's just turn your subdivision surface modifier back on and check for any issue. This dome is creating issues, so what I will do, I will just select these edges as well and mark seam and try to unwrap it like this. I guess all of these needs to be separated to get a better view. So let me just select these edges as well and mark seam and unwrap them like this. And now as you can see, it's looking much fine from before. One thing I can do, what I think I can do, I can remove these edges from seams and unwrap it like this and it will still be fine. Yes, they're looking good to go. All right, first of all, go to your overlays and increase the number of tiles like this. I think we will need 5 tiles for this because we still have these screws and these joints to unwrap. First of all, let's select these joints and get into local view with them, and let me give them the same material, the checker one. If you select these and you shift select the last one which has the material and press Ctrl L and click on link materials, all of the previous selections will get this material. So let me just come to this one and let me just select the base like this and mark seam there, and let me just do the same with this top part and mark seam there as well. Now I'm going to select this one edge of any corner you want and mark seam there, and now if I unwrap this, you will see it will have a good proper unwrap. And now because all of these has same number of polygons, I can select them and shift select the last one and hit Ctrl L and I can copy their UV map. So now all of them are having the same UV maps as this one, but obviously we don't want that because we will be giving them different textures. So first of all, I'm gonna apply this mirror modifier and then I'm going to select all of these and grab them in the second UDIM, and then I'm gonna go to my UV selection mode, and firstly I'm going to drag and select these UV islands and grab them here. And now for them I am going to select this one and move it like this, then I'm gonna select this one and move it like this, then I'm going to again press L above these and move it again. Okay, so these are the 4 different materials. Let me select this and grab it and let me just move these aside like this. I have to move it in the second UDIM. I will try to fit these to here like this. Okay, this is also not going to fit, so let me just first move them separately. Let me just rotate them correctly as well, for example like this, just arranging them roughly for now. Let me do one thing, let me select all of them and scale them down like this so I can fit them in these UDIMs. Okay, these needs to be there, go there. Let me try to fit these in here. All right, okay, so these are now unwrapped. Now what I will do, I will hide this fire hydrant and these connections, and I am going to work with these nut and bolts now. So let me select this nut for example, and let me go to local view mode for this also. I'm gonna give the same material we were using and apply the scale for this. Let me just apply the scale for all of them. Now let's work on this separately. So this face needs to be seamed, and in here I think, okay, we don't need this type of base. I'm going to delete this right now, and I am gonna fill this up very quickly like this, and now I have to duplicate it again, but that's fine, that we have to do anyway because we are not going to unwrap them separately. So let's also, this has this vertex there. All right, so now let's select this edge ring as well, mark seam for that, and manually select these two edges and mark seam so it can be cut perfectly. And let's place a cut right here. Now if I unwrap them, I think it's looking fine. Let me see. Yes, it's fine, it's grabbing the textures good, but in here it's not fine, so we have to work on that. So let me just select this area, it's this one. What we can do is we can give this a seam as well, and we can give this a seam as well, and now we can wrap it. And yes, it's looking good to me now. Let me grab the UVs of this nut in the last UDIM and make this. All right, now let me select this one. What area is this? It's this area, and we can remove seam from here, and if we can unwrap it right now, it's still looking fine to me. Okay, no, we may need a seam here. Let's unwrap it and keep it like this. All right, let me just move it, and let me just come to this nut now. This nut also we need to add seams in here. First of all, let's give it the same material, and after adding seam there, select this ring and mark seam there, and try to unwrap it and see what result we will get. All right, this is the result, quite satisfying I think, but the inside is not looking good. So what we will do, we will select an edge ring in here like this, and we'll do the same with this top one and unwrap it once more. So this is looking fine to me. Anyway, these nuts need to be rusty, so we only have to look at the outer faces and they are looking just fine. Let me create a new UDIM and let me place this one here. Don't worry, we will not be using 6 UDIMs, we are just placing it for now. And now what I can do, first of all I can unhide all of them, and I can hide this and this and this and these and delete the rest of them. Let's unhide the one we need. We have done that because these are the unwrapped one and we just want to duplicate these, so we don't have to unwrap all of them separately. That we will do right now. Remember how we have done that? Select your hydrant, place your cursor at the center, select your objects, make your pivot 3D cursor, make 3D cursor your pivot, and press Shift D and R and around here, and press Shift R to duplicate your previous action. And we have done it. How many are there? Let's count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So there will be 8 UDIMs, and let's do the same with this one. So let's press Shift T and duplicate it, go to edit mode, delete these vertices, make this edge ring its origin, and now place it right here, just a bit outwards like this. Same thing again, Shift D R to rotate and Shift R to duplicate your action, and this is done too. All right, now if you go to material preview mode, all of your items are now UV unwrapped and good to go to substance painter. But before that, let's set our UV island. Let's start with this fire hydrant only. What I will do, I will select all of them, make sure to be in face select mode, grab all of them here and just scale them like this, and I guess this will be just fine. Each of these UDIMs will be 4K, and let's see how many UDIMs we have to make. So I'm gonna select this and let's try to place it. So I'm going to scale it down a bit like this because this will fit this. This is the main body. Let me just show you which part it is. This is the main body of our hydrant, so it needs to be the full resolution. So I'm gonna use one full UDIM for that, and now I'll see what other UV island I can fit in here. I guess these can be fit in here, so I'm gonna select all of them, place them here, scale them down to bit in the island. Let's select the bigger one, scale it down a bit more like this. Let's select this one as well, scale it down 2, and now just move these here as well. All right, you have to make sure there are no empty space in your UDIM, otherwise that UV area will get wasted. Now let's select this one, and this is this part. This I will place like this in this UDIM. I'm gonna make this and its upper part a bit bigger like this. I want to scale it like this. Now I'm gonna select this one, which part it is. All right, and I'm going to place it right here. This also I need to scale, and I will rotate it like this. So, and I will place it in another quadrant. Same goes for this side. I'm gonna rotate it like this and place it here. Make it bigger too, like this. All right, now let's try to place all of our UDIMs in here. This is the top part, so I think this can go in here, and we can rotate it and scale it up and place it right here. And we have some more pieces like this base, and it can go in here, same size it is. Now I'm gonna pick this one, which is this part. This also can move here, this, and all right, this is a main part, so I'm gonna make it a bit bigger and try to fit it in this UDIM. All right, let's see, these are the, or all right, these are this. So, and this also I think will be of the other side. Yes, so I'm gonna make them a bit bigger. One can go here and the other one can go side by side like this. Now let's come to these parts. Select all of them like this, and now just go to UV pack islands and click OK. You don't have to change any option. What it will do, it will just scale them up to fit in the size of a UDIM. Now we have to place them and rotate them manually correctly. So let me just grab this one and place it right here, and I will do this with all of, see this, like this needs to be rotated like this, so we have to do that manually. I am going to rotate them exactly in the same axis, so we don't have to do extra effort in the texturing. All right, there are 7, one more needs to be there. It's here, I think. Okay, so we will scale it manually, and it's looking fine, just fine. And these are the outer surface. These also needs to be properly placed. First of all, let me just select all of these and scale them up and fit them in here. And now I'm going to arrange these as well, so let me just place them like this and just scale them up like this. Let's continue our arrangement, and I'm gonna place it right here. I think this can be scaled down, and this is this part which can be placed inside this and can be a bit scaled up like this. Let me guess, these and these. All right, these are also the important part, and let me just first of all select these ones, scale them up a bit and place them in places like this. All right, so all of them are now placed. Let's once view it in material preview mode. As you can see, our UDIMs are looking pretty fine, pretty nice, and good to go for these. Make sure that in all the places the size of the textures are same. Like right now you can see all of the sizes are same except for this one, because we have scaled them up. If you want them also to be of the same size, so select them and scale them down like this. Also you can place them in the same UDIM by doing this like this, and they are also now of the same size, similar size of their surrounding UDIM. So this is looking fine, and we have consumed 5 UDIMs for these. So now let's hide this and select these joint, and we have to set them as well. So how and what we can do, we can just scale them down and set them in this UDIM like this, and let's set them here like this. All right, they are good to go as well, so let's hide them. Let's come to our these, and for that we have to increase our UDIMs as well. So we can take them in here, but we cannot leave them overlapped, otherwise their textures will look exactly the same. I'll just select one of these, and I'm gonna pack the islands for them, and as you can see, it will separate them out and set them in a island. And let's zoom in and see that they are how they are looking. So they are looking fine. I think this will be fine for them, otherwise we can change them anytime. So I'm going to set them in this island like this, and I'm going to do the same for these UVs, pack island, and hit OK, and I'm gonna grab it like this to the last UDIM. All right, now everything is unwrapped, and if you select all of them and go to edit mode, you will see 8 UV islands ready to go to Substance Painter. So now it's time to give them material, because right now they have this checker material which we don't want. obviously I'm gonna give this a material of fire hydrant, and because they have different UVs, I'm gonna select all of them. Make sure my active selection is this fire hydrant and hit Ctrl L and link material. So all of them are now sharing the same material called fire hydrant. So now what we can do, we can go to file, export, and choose FBX, and we can make a new folder named FBX, and we can give them a name fire hydrant, and we can export FBX like this. So this was the chapter 3 of the course, and in next chapter we will take this FBX to Substance Painter and start texturing. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Hello guys, welcome back to the course, and in this chapter we will import our model in Substance Painter and bake its mesh maps. So let's go to file, new, make sure you are using PBR metallic roughness template. Under file, select your FBX, set your document resolution to 4K and set your normal map format to OpenGL, because Blender as well as Marmoset toolbar use OpenGL normal map format. Make sure your UV tile workflow is checked to use all your UDIMs, and you don't want to change any other setting, just press OK. Upon importing the model, please check that every part of your model is visible and it's not showing any artifacts or anything else, because that can be a normal issue. It's looking fine to me. Now let's go ahead under texture set settings and let's select bake mesh map. Under here you will find it very confusing, but I will give you a general overview and general settings from which you can get a perfect bake most of the time. So just set your output size to be 4K, and you can check this box, use low poly mesh as high poly mesh, because we are not using any external high poly mesh. Otherwise we would have put it in here from this button. You can leave everything in here as it is. Under anti-aliasing, just select sampling 4x. This will work fine for the edges and corners. And under match, just select by mesh name, and you don't have to change any other setting. Just unselect this ID map because we don't want that, because we have not assigned any material ID to a model in Blender. And I'm not going to use this thickness map as well, because this map is basically for the subsurface settings and we are not using any skin information in here. So after these settings, just click bake selected textures. It can take some time depending on your machine. Alright, now baking has completed, so let's return to painting mode, and I can see it's looking fine. Let's check our mesh maps. You can come here and scroll down to see your mesh map. This is the normal map, it's looking good. This is the world space normal, it's also looking okay. This is ambient occlusion, it's one of the important maps we have to look, and it's looking fine to me. The corners are black and some gray values are also in there, so it's looking fine. Next is curvature map. Okay, I can see it has some issue in this area. So for the curvature map, I have found better solution for this bake. Let's go to texture set settings and bake mesh maps. Deselect all of the maps except for the curvature. Select curvature, and in here, instead of generate from mesh, select generate from normal map. And now just press bake selected textures. And now if you return to painting mode, you can see your curvature map is better now than it is before. Next is position map, it's also looking good. And this is it, these are our maps for our fire hydrant. So this was the chapter 4 of the course, and in the next chapter we will create each and every material from scratch that we will be needing for our fire hydrant. So I'll see you there. Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this chapter we will create every material which we will be needing in our fire hydrant. I will be using this material for paint, so we will be needing a red paint material, a rust material, white splashed paint material, and this white chipped paint material as well. So I am gonna go to textures.com, and under PBR materials you will see a folder named paint, and I'm gonna download this old machine paint. This we will use as red paint material, so I'm gonna download this 1K. I don't need this height information. I'm gonna download the normal map, and I'm gonna download the roughness map as well. And if you scroll down, you will see there are a lot more albedo maps with different color variations. You can use any color you want according to your prop, but if your color is not here, you can always download this white color albedo and change it to any color you want, which I will do in this fire hydrant as well. I can download this red for the fire hydrant, but I want you to show the method of changing the color. Now for my rust, I am gonna go to the rust folder, and I am going to download this heavy rust textures. Now for the spliced white paint material, and I'm gonna go with this painted plaster texture. So let's download this. Now for the chipped white paint material, let's come back to our paint, and I'm gonna go with this epoxy paint because it's looking fine. It's a bit shiny, we can control its roughness, that's not an issue, so I'm gonna go with this. I am downloading only albedo, normal and roughness map for every material because we are only going to use them. Now let's come to the substance painter and let's start creating our very first material, that will be red paint material. So let me delete this layer. First of all, I'm gonna go to texture set settings and change its size to 1K, so our viewport will not lag while we work on texture. First of all, let's go to the folder we have all the textures in and select them all and drag them to the set library. Drag and select all of them and check texture and import it to your project fire hydrant. Alright, so let's create a new fill layer and drag and drop your textures accordingly. So this is the albedo map of white color, so I'm dragging it in here, and now I will change its projection type to triplanar and increase its scaling to 4. I guess this will work just fine, just how we need it. Now under roughness, I'm gonna drag this roughness channel, and under normal also I will drag this normal channel as well. Now obviously we don't want this to look like it. So first of all, I am going to add a filter. I'm going to search for color. I am looking for this color match option right here, color match filter, and under here you can set your target color to the any color you want. So basically I am using this red color for this fire hydrant, which it should be. I am going to get I'm gonna go with this red color. Also I want to make it a little bit shinier, so I am going to add levels. I'm gonna select roughness and I am going to make it a bit shiny like this. All right, I think this is looking, yes, this is looking fine to me. I don't want to use this single material everywhere, so what I will do, I will add a fill layer, call it variation 2, and I will select this same color. I'm copying its sex value. I will use the same color in here as well, so color difference will not be there. And I'm only going to use roughness and color for this one. Now I am going to change the saturation value of this color little bit like this. I'm going to make it less saturated like this. And I am also going to increase the roughness of it a bit like this. Right now what I can see, it's getting height value from its below layer, which I don't want. So this has a very simple solution. You just have to make sure your normal map channel is enabled for your variation and go to your normal, and under here select normal instead of the normal map detail which was selected by default. And now as you can see, it's not taking any height information from its below layers, but it's looking way too flat and way too perfect for us, so we will have to change this a bit. How are we gonna do that? I am going to go to my smudge textures and we will use a smudge texture for its roughness map. I'm gonna search for grunge, and in here you can see we have various grunge maps. So I'm gonna go with these grunge vibes, which you can find at the last of your search. And I am looking for something. Let's select this one, grunge vibe grainy. No, it's not looking that good. Let's try this grunge vibe smudgy soft. And I guess it has some seams. Let's view the roughness channel. Yes, so let's change its projection type to triplanar and increase its styling to 4 like this. This will look fine, I guess. Let's look it under material. It's way too shiny right now, so we are going to use this balance to balance out the shine. I don't want this to be that much shiny. I guess this is looking just fine how we want it. I like this result. Also now I want something to be in its height map, so let me just enable the height channel for it. And I'm gonna search for some grunge dirt. Let me type in here grunge dirt, and I think let's try this one, grunge dirt thin in its height channel. Okay, the first thing you have to do when you use a height map, you have to go to the height channel and lower this slider around 1 to 2, 1 or 2 value to make it very subtle amount to be visible like this. This is looking fine to me. I think I'm going to use this one with the height value of 2, and it is looking good. Now let's combine this with this layer with while by adding a black mask like this one. First of all, I want to match their roughness. Right now my original red material is more shinier than my variation one, so I'm gonna make my variation a bit more shiny. So I'm going to I'm going to decrease this balance slider like this, and it will become more shiny now. As you can see, it's done. So now I'm going to add a black mask to this variation, and I'm gonna go to the smart masks, and I am going to use surface one smart mask. And as you can see, this is how it looks right now, and it's a very good mask basically. So let me just tweak some settings. First of all, what I want to do, I want to increase its global balance a bit like this, and also I want to decrease the contrast of this. And now if I look it, you can see both the layers are merging pretty fine, and I like this result. I guess I need to change the base color to be a little more hot red. I think this color is looking fine right now, and hence I'm gonna make this color a little more saturated and darker like this. All right. Also right now all of the model is getting this, so I'm gonna select all of the layers, make a group by Control G, name it red paint, and I'm gonna add a black mask to it, and I'm gonna add a paint layer under that black mask and go to polygon fill selection, select this as my selection type. And I'm going to click on this mesh because this is the only mesh that will be getting this material. So now it's looking fine. Now let's create our second material, which will be rust material. So add a fill layer, and first of all let's import our rust textures that we have downloaded. Same, select textures in here under project and import them, and we will be dragging them to our fill layer like this, and we are going to set it to triplanar as well and increase its styling to 4 like this. Now let's drag our roughness map and our normal map as well. I like this rust, but we have to change its color to something which is more believable. So how we're gonna do that is we're gonna add a filter in here. Let me just delete this color search, and I'm gonna search for HSL filter, which will be hue, saturation and light. So first thing I want to do is I want to change its hue to be a little reddish. So I'm going to do that right now like this, and now I'm going to increase its saturation a bit like this, and also I'm going to decrease its light to be around here. I can still change its hue like this. All right, now in this layer I want to add that same grunge dirt thin map under its height layer, and I'm going to go to height and decrease its value to be around here like this. I think this is something we can work with. Let me try it with different texture like this dirt 3. All right, I like this one more, so I am gonna go with this. Now let's decrease its height value a bit more to be around 8 or something. 7 I guess will work fine. Yes, it's looking good. So this is the rust material we will be using. So just hit Ctrl G on this layer and call it rust. Now let's come to our third material, which will be white splashed material. So for that we have downloaded textures. So just drag them and import them in our project and add a fill layer to make them work. Drag them to their sockets like this. Okay, let's change it to triplanar as well and increase its styling to 4. And as you can see, it's looking just the way it should look, and it's looking good. We will use them with the stencil we will create, and right now it's looking good to me. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl G and name it white splashed paint and hide it. Now we have to create our last material, which will be that whitish chipped paint. So let me just drag these textures in here, and now let's again repeat the process. Get the albedo map, but we have to change its color. So first of all, let's change it to triplanar and increase its styling to 4. Now we can change its color to be off-white basically. So I'm gonna add the same filter, color match, and I am going to set it to this off-whitish color with the tint of yellow like this. Now let's add the normal map and also the roughness map for this. We have to decrease its shine as well, so we have to add levels of roughness channel. We will slide this slider to the left to decrease its roughness like this. I guess this will be fine. Let me change its color once more to be more of whitish color. Yes, like this. All right, this is looking fine now. So I'm gonna group this as well and name it whitish chipped paint. All right, so we have created each and every material that we will be needing, and this was the chapter 5th A of this course.
In the next chapter, we will create stencils so that we can create our masks to merge these materials in Substance Painter. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this chapter, we will create stencils to create masks inside Substance Painter through projection painting. So let's come to cgtextures.com and go to decals. Now go to leaking and now select rusty. In here, we will find some rust leaks that we can modify to create stencils in Photoshop. So basically we have to first of all get some leaks that are coming from a corner like these ones, and we also have to collect some leaks like this that will be in the center. So yeah, I'm gonna take this one. Let me create a folder in here called decals. Then I'm going to take this one as well. It's looking pretty fine too. Spend some time in picking these leaks because they will decide your textures. I'm gonna take this one as well. These also are looking nice. Alright, when you are done in this, come back to decals and click on rust spot. You will find pretty good spots in here as well, like this one. I like this one. It can be used, I don't know, maybe, but we have to take it from here. This is also we can modify. Also make sure to pick wisely because you only will get 15 free credits per day. After that you have to pay for each of your downloads, so make sure not to download in a hurry and only download the ones you daily will use. Like this has so many spots, we can create many things from this, so I'm gonna download this one. From this also I can create something, but let me find something else, otherwise I'll download that one only. Okay, these two I want to download. I'm not sure which one. It's okay, I'm gonna pick both of them, or I can pick this one instead of this. This is looking much more crispier. I guess we have already downloaded this one, so I'm gonna download this as well now. Let's go back. We have to download a paint splash decal as well. Let's search in this patched wall. Okay, it's not here. We have a folder called bottom, so let's see what this has to offer. Any rust bottom? No, not yet. No, it don't have anything. All right, let's go back and let's come under stains. We have to find a splashed pattern like this one, like this one, like this splash, like this splashed. I'm gonna take this and I am going to take this one. Let's see. No, I'm not gonna take this one. This anyway can be used, I think. Again, I'm saying please choose your downloads wisely. It's okay to spend some more 5 to 10 minutes here. This one I really like, so I'm gonna download this. We can use it. Let's search for a splash if we get anything. No. Okay, only damage is now. Okay, let's check in damage as well, but yeah, as I thought, it's nothing in here that we can use. Depending on your project, you can search each of these folders and look for the stencil you have to create. Let's come back to the rust spots and maybe I can download some more spots like this one. This can be used easily. This one as well can be used easily. This one also I can use somewhere. Now I only have a single credit left and let's leave it. I don't find anything more I can use in it. Now let's jump to Photoshop and I'm gonna make a 4K document with 300 dpi. Now I am going to my decal folder and I'm gonna select all of them at once and drag him in here and press enter till all of them are here. We have to obviously set them. Alright, now you can just select this, hold your shift and select this to select all of them, right click and just rasterize this layer so we can edit them individually. So first of all, I'm gonna give my background a solid color of black and now I am going to hide all of them and work on them one by one. So the very first thing we have to do with every texture in here, we have to make them completely white so we can use them as stencils. How are we gonna do that? Let's hit Ctrl U and decrease their saturation all the way to -100. Now go to image adjustment and get your level curve in here. If you slide this, it will go to black. We do not want that. We want it to go to white. So how we're gonna do that is we are going to exchange their output levels. I'm gonna slide this slider all the way till here and this one right. And now if I move this, it will become white how I want it. Also, don't make it smooth like this. Try to make it as hard as possible like this one. This is looking pretty nice to me. Make it a bit bigger and place it right. Now let's work with this the same way. Scale it up a bit, hit Ctrl U, the saturation. Now bring up the levels curve, same thing. Exchange their output levels and drag them right there. I don't know how I'm gonna use this, but I have to because I have downloaded it. So let me just try. Press OK. I think we have to delete it afterward. I don't know. This was the splash we will use. Obviously same thing. Drag it all the way up here so it will be white. Now scale it down, fit it in here, and maybe I can take up my brush by hitting B and select my soft round brush, pick its color and start filling it up from the middle. I don't want any gaps in middle, obviously. Let me take the hard brush for this and let me just fill up these gaps. Alrighty, alright, okay, scale it down and let me take my eraser now. I don't want this part, so I'm gonna erase that like this and I'm gonna place it right here. So likewise you have to do with every single textures we have in here and we will be good to go. In here also I need to get this spot going. I need to fill these spots that's going on in here and I can do it like this. This time I'm using the soft brush. It's fine now. Okay, all right. For this, first of all, let's drag all of these down and make sure to set these border textures at the borders only. It will be easier for us in Substance to work with them. Okay, now let's set them accordingly. Let me hide this for a moment. I'm not liking that. All right, it control you the saturation. Now the levels. These rust are mostly important. Like this is also here, so I'm gonna rotate it like this, scale it up, place it right about here, saturation, and now let adjust its level. Now let pick up the eraser and remove these spots. They are of no use. Okay, take up your eraser tool and remove these spots now. All right, this is looking quite good. We will use this one a lot, I guess. Let me make this splash a bit small. Also, I'm gonna delete this from here and this from here. This also has some good spots in here. Okay, I guess this can be used instead of yes, this is looking much more effective. I'm gonna scale it down. Okay, one more is here. I'm not gonna do that. I can do this one. Feel free to make more than one stencil to use. I guess this has their output levels. Okay, this is not working, so I'm gonna keep this one as well. Okay, we have one more nice spot in here, so I'm gonna do this. Okay, this is looking good. We have one more in here, same thing, looking nice, and we have the last one in here, so let's do it very quickly. Okay, now it's done. Make sure to save your stencil PSD and now make sure to create a JPEG out of it. So this was the chapter 5B of the course, and in the next chapter we will create mask for every material to blend them using this stencil we have created that will look good. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this chapter we will use our stencil and create masks to blend every material. So first of all, let's start with a rust material and turn this layer on. This is our rust. Now I'm going to add a black mask in here and I'm gonna add a paint layer on top of it. So very first thing we have to do is to import our stencil like this, and I'm gonna choose texture and import your resource to project. There is our stencil. Now while this paint layer selected, I'm going to go to this option which is for projection painting. When I select this, you can see a black box appears on your 3D as well as on your 2D view. If you scroll down in here, you will see an option of grayscale in which you have to put your stencil. So it will be on this black area. This is your stencil. Basically how you are going to navigate in this is you have to hold Alt, and now with the mouse click you can pan the scene. And how you will move your stencil in the scene is you have to hold S key, and now with the mouse click you can rotate your stencil. If you press shift, it will be this type of rotation. While holding S, if you right click and drag, you can zoom in and out of your stencil, and with the help of middle mouse button you can move your stencil like this. So like that you have to set your stencil and your 3D viewport as well. So I'm gonna go with this reference. I'm gonna add rust in this part, this part, this part, and these parts. I'm not following this reference fully, but yes, I am following it for where the rust can appear. So let me drag this in here, and very first rust spot I'm gonna make is around here, and let me just search a good stencil part for it. Yes, I guess this will work just fine. So first thing I'll do, I'll just place it here and I'll just increase the size of my brush and just drag the mouse over our stencil like this, so it will now give me the look I want. And let me just rotate my view and keep brushing with my mouse. Now I'm going to change the position of stencil to close this, and I think this part will work fine in this, so I'm gonna put it here and just close this like. Alright, anytime you want to paint manually, you can just go to your paint mode and move your brush like this, and you will paint now manually without the stencil. So this part is closed now from here. One thing I want to do with my rust material right now is I want to create a fill layer on top of this, and I'm going to disable everything except for the height information, and I'm gonna give it more depth like this. I'm going to decrease its height a bit so it will give us this depth look. I can see from here this blur is not good for us. We want this crisp edge at every ending of our stencil. So I am going to again select this paint layer and go to projection paint, and now I'm going to put my stencil in here at this position like this and close this gap like. All right, I am going to paint here as well with a straight line because it's an ending edge in here. Also, I'm gonna make this one a more sharp like this manually, so it's good. Now basically what I want my rust to be in this part as well. So again, I'm going to use this pattern right here for this, and I'm gonna paint it as it is like this, and I'm gonna end it around here. All right, it's looking good. Let me continue this at this side as well because I feel it has to be in here as well, but I'm going to use another patch for this one. I'm gonna go with this patch right here, and I am going to make it from here, and I'm gonna continue it like this. All right, in here also I have to find some spots, like I guess this will look good in this part, so I'm gonna place it right there, and I am gonna paint over it like this. All right, it's looking good for now. Okay, now let me look where I want my paint to be. Okay, let's do one thing first. Let's add a generator below this paint layer, and we are going to use this metal edge generator, but not like this obviously. Let me just hide this paint layer for a moment, and let's adjust this metal edge wear. First thing obviously I want to decrease its wear level to be something around here. Also I want to decrease the curvature weight it's using, and I want to make it like around there. Yes, it's looking good. I'm gonna increase the grunge amount like this. Also I'm gonna tweak the grunge scale a bit, like this is looking fine to me. I'm going to decrease the wear level more like this. Now I want to break this edge rust from random places, so I'm gonna add a fill on top of it, and in here I'm going to search for cloud, and I'm going to use this cloud 3 with triplanar projection and with a tiling of around 4. So this is how it looks. We don't want it like that. Also, if you go on any of the mask and hold alt and click on it, you will see only that mask. So this is helpful for viewing how the mask is actually looking and reacting. So we're going to do just that, and now I'm going to change the contrast of this cloud texture, and I'm going to play with its balance as well. Now I'm gonna change its blending type from normal to multiply, so it will define how much the below metal edge wear will be visible. If I now play with the balance of this cloud texture, it will hide this edge wear from random places, so I can play with these settings. Also I will play with the tiling of this cloud texture as well like this. All right, I think it's looking fine. Just a subtle amount of rust. If you click on any other box, you will be back to your material view. I guess this is too low right now, so let me just go to my cloud and increase its balance and decrease its contrast a bit. Also let me play with its styling. This is looking pretty fine, I think. Yes, it's kind of subtle and on the edges, just how the way I want it to be. Now let's turn back our paint layer on, and let's continue painting our rust. I guess this area also needs to have some rust on it, and I think this patch will do the work. Yes, so I'm gonna do just that right now. All right, now I'm going to add some rust in this area. Now let's try to add some rust on top as well, and for that also I'm going to use this same, but this time I'm gonna use it with this direction like that, and I think finding its place in UVs will help me paint it well. So I'm gonna just try to find it in here. I think it's this part, but let's confirm. Yes, it's this part only. I will go in this UV workspace, set my stencil accordingly, and just paint it over like this, so it has that rust and it is looking quite good to me. I am now going to manually release some of the rust from, okay, and it's looking quite good to me. Now let's try to change a brush. So I'm going to brushes, and I'm gonna use this artistic hairbrush. What its name is, it's called artistic heavy sponge, and I'm gonna use this to manually paint rust over this area. As you can see, if you press X, you can erase your mask like this. And now in this part I want some brush, but I'm not gonna do it manually. Let's select basic hard again and go to projection, and for this I am now going to use some patches, and I guess these patches will do the trick right now. Yes, they can. So let's paint them around here like this. This is fine, I think. Now let's paint some rust in this part as well. For here, I think this can do the trick. Make sure to change the size of your brush according to your need, and I'm not using any pen tablet right now. I am only using my mouse. So if you don't have a pen tablet also, you can create this asset and upload it to your ArtStation. Okay, for in here I think some rust patches will look fine, so I have just the right amount of textures for that. I think these will do the trick, and I have to make them a bit smaller, and I'm going to paint them in here like this. Yes, all right. Let's come to this part as well. Make sure not to randomly add any rust. I'm not randomly adding them. I am looking at my reference that where are the rust, and I am adding the rust accordingly. So make sure you do that, otherwise your rust will look randomized and people will get to know that you have not looked at any reference while doing your texturing. So this is it right now for the rust. So these are the rust I have placed, and I am going to obviously leave this space as it is, just a normal just spots of rust that I will place manually. Let me add another fill layer in here. Let's hide all the above layers obviously, and I am going to search for some grunge maps that I can use. I want some dot grunges and very subtle dot grunges like this one, grunge spots dirty. I can use this. Yes, I want it like this only. Let me turn on my triplanar and adjust the tiling to be around something around this is looking just fine. And now let's turn on our above layers as well. All right, so random spots are now taking place and this is looking good as well. So I'm gonna leave it like this. Now for the paint, I have some ideas in my mind. Let me just go to my paint layer and add a fill layer on top of all, and let me call it variation 3. I am going to disable this metal, we don't need it. I'm going to change its color to be around little less reddish, but something around like this. I'm gonna change it afterwards. Now I am going to add a black mask to it, and I'm gonna add a fill, and I'm going to search for grunge, and let's see which grunge I can use. I think this grunge cobweb is looking fine to me for the purpose. This grunge concrete burnt is also looking good to me. Again, let's try this green cobweb, and let's do it with triplanar projection and play with its scale a bit, like 0.8 I guess is looking just fine. And I'm gonna change its roughness as well. So go to my paint and I'm gonna increase its roughness a bit so it will have some variations over there as well. And also I'm gonna increase its height like this, and it will definitely looks good. And again the same thing, I am going to add another fill on top of it. My all-time favorite clouds 3, set it to multiply to get it through, and let's set it to triplanar and play with its styling. First of all, I guess this much is fine, and now I'm gonna play with its balance. So I'm gonna make it like this, and I'm gonna change its contrast also, and again increase some balance. And now let's come to its color. So I don't want it to be that much different from this red, but yes, I want it to be some different, and I don't want it to in reddish tone. So I'm gonna pick this color, which will be subtle as well as it will give some variations, which is looking nice. Now I only have one query in this color under height. What if I use some textures like dirt 3? If I put it in height, and let me go to height variations and decrease this to be something around very subtle amount, which I guess this will look good as well. Okay, it's not looking bad right now. So I'm gonna take it like this, and some roughness variations are also there, so that's perfect. Let me check the map once. What if I increase this contrast and the balance, and in this also let me just decrease its balance a bit. All right, I think it's looking fine, but I guess we have to give it some balance. Okay, this is also looking fine to me. I guess it's too much, so let me just decrease the balance of the cloud. Okay, this is looking fine to me. Let's play with its roughness a bit. I'm gonna make it little more shinier than this, and yes, it's looking good. It's looking fine basically. Let's go with this right now. If we want, we can change it further. All right, so we are at this rust, so let me add some more spots but in different positions. Like in here, let me add some. Let me go to my projection mapping once more. Let me just add some bigger spots like this. Let me add some more spots manually. So I'm gonna go in this, change my brush, and let me do some manual brushing in here like this. All right, and let me continue this at the bottom as well in here. Like, let me just connect it till here. All this will be rusty. Okay, all right, now let's continue our rust. Now let's come to this part. I think this also can have some rust in here. I have a limitation of my reference that only one side is visible to me, that is this side. So I have to do this back side and these sides without the reference. Let's see how they'll go. I don't need rust in here. I'll use the splashed paint now. Okay, let's do the rust in this part now. So this part can have the rust like this, and it can go around till the end, and it can submerge in the end like that. Same goes for the upper part. Like this it can go, and it can submerge at the end like this. All right, it's looking good. Okay, let's do one thing now. Let's add rust in these areas. I guess this is some edge. Let me just find which edge this is. Okay, this is this edge. So yeah, we have to add rust in here, but we will be using projection for that. We're not gonna do that manually. We have to strategically put rust in here. So let me just rotate the stencil and place my rust around here. And now let me paint it like this, and again same thing, and again the same thing. So the rust in here will look like it's coming out from this area, which is real because this upper part is different from this part in real life. So rust can submerge from there, but obviously we don't want this straight line, so I'm gonna remove some manually like this. These straight lines will definitely look fake. Avoid them as much as you can. Make sure to hit Ctrl S to save your projects because Substance can crash anytime and you don't want to lose your work. Okay, let's come to our stencil once more and let's try some different ones this time. I am going to add these rust leaks, proper leaks, and let me see how it's looking. Okay, it's not looking good because it's not in the right direction. So I have to rotate this and do it from here. It cannot leak from there, so I'm gonna do it from here. Then it can leak from this, it can leak from upside, definitely it can. So I am going to give some leaks to this area now at random places, not on the full area. Some leaks there, and let's do this group of leaks around here as well. And now let's find this part and let's do some leaks around here. All right, this much is fine. I guess they are over now, so let me just delete them. Let me just remove them from here. All right, so I guess rust part is almost done. This is looking pretty unnatural, so I am going to make rust around this part also, and let me just join these. All right, let's leave it like that, and let's paint some rust in this area as well, which is not in the reference, but I know rust will be there because this is also the same edge we are working on. I'm not liking this big rust patch, so I'm gonna close this. I want more red only to be visible. Let's come to this area. This don't have any rust, so it has some paint, and of course this area has some rust. These connections I get more rusty. We have some UV problems in here, but I'm not gonna fix them right now. I am just going to work with it and make my pace with it. You always have the option to go back to your UVs and fix them, and if you are working on a hero prop, you have to fix them. There are no choices for you then. But if you're working on a prop and on a side that will not be visible to the camera, you can avoid these issues to save some time if you are on a tight deadline. It will have some white paint over here, I promise. All of this area is rusty. I'm not adding any rust in the back of this because I don't have any reference and I don't want to do it randomly because it will not look good. I know. I guess there are more than enough rust in here and it's looking pretty rusty and old. So let's just end this in here. I'm gonna create some connections for that there as well. Let's make it. All right, we have to add some rust at the bottom also. So let's find this area. Okay, it's this strip and this strip as well. So let's come to our stencil and let's pick this up again. And let's paint some edge rust in there. like this. I wonder why curvature map didn't pick up these edges, but they should absolutely. Let me find this area. Okay. All right, let's do the same with this now. Wrong side. It should be from here. Okay, so it's looking good. The edges and the base is looking quite good. All right, let's close this rust for now. If we need it and we want to add some more, we will do later. One more thing, let's add some rust in this edge. It's looking quite unrusty, which is unrealistic for me. Let's rotate it and keep it here and just add some rust in here too. Like, all right, looking fine to me for a rusty fire hydrant. Sorry. Now let's come to our next material, which is this white splashed paint, which is getting information from below, which we do not want. So I'm gonna go to normal and I'm gonna change it to normal, and it's still not working. Let me change this to normal as well. Still not working. Sometimes this can cause some effect. Let's go to height and change it to normal as well for this as well. Okay, now it's working, which is good for us. Let's now go back to our base color, and in this folder let's now create a black mask and a paint, not a fill. Add a paint, and you know where we want the splash to be and where we want this painted at the top, and that too we have to do it manually. So I'm gonna search for any paint brush if I can find. It has some paint brushes: knife paint, heavy knife painting, artistic. Let's try this artistic hair brush. Its name is artistic hairy paint, so let's give it a try. Okay, it's looking quite good. Yes, it's looking quite good to me. One thing I want to do, I want to go to this paint material and give it some height like this, and give it some good height because it's a thick plaster paint, so we have to give it some height, obviously. Let's paint it around in here and find our way according to our reference. Maybe some paint will be there as well, and maybe this is also painty. We will obviously leave some spots in between, but we will do that later. And its paint is getting at the top as well. Definitely gonna use some stencils, but later on, not now. We cannot use it now. Oh, and I'm rotating my brush while holding control and dragging my mouse button up and down, so you can do that too. In here we can use a stencil again, and remember we have this splash texture we have created. Let's try to use it. So we can use it in this, like this we can absolutely, and also we can use this splash in here like this, so there will be a paint splash as well. Now I think manual work will do the trick for the rest of it, and we don't want the paint in here, and this whole area will be covered in paint only. Let me choose some different brush right now. Okay, like this one. Yes, it's good for creating the strokes, and I am going to cover this whole area. Now let me just press X and choose this Kali paint, and let's remove some areas like this. Not looking good, not looking good. Let's use another paint brush and remove some areas. Basically paint is over at this area only, so I am going to add that splash in this part because we will be rendering this part, and hence I'm going to add that splash in here like this. All right, now I am going to add some paint around it, but this splash will be here only. All right, let's try it with this brush. All right, let's do it in here as well. Okay, some more paint areas will be this one. Paint will be above the rest as well. It's not looking good in here. I guess we have to use stencils for this as well, and this is not the paint I was talking about. Some paint is there at the bottom. It's time for that splash again. Okay, this splash seems to be very helpful for us. I like this. Some more spots I can add in here as well of the same splash. Yes, okay, I guess it's good to go. Not the full texturing, obviously. The splash I'm talking about. Sorry, the white plaster paint I'm talking about right now. All right, let's move around and see. This is looking odd. Either we cover it full or we give this a big chunk. Let's cover it full only, leaving this scar. Okay, we have to cover this area as well. Let's call it for this. And now let's come to our whitish chipped paint, for which also we have to change it to normal. Very good. Now let's add a black mask and a paint layer, and this basically needs to go in here, but obviously with the help of our stencil only. So this will be around this area and on top of everything like this. All right, I am going to give this some height as well, like this. Inverted, I guess is inverted. Okay, yes, I'm going to give it some height as well. And now I'm gonna paint it around in here and everywhere else. And I want this paint on in here as well. So I'm gonna use this stencil with this texture and I'm gonna paint it like this. All right, now let's I am not liking the color of it to be this whitish. I want it to be some yellowish color like this, pale yellow like this. All right, anyhow we will add some dirt on top of all of them. Now let's come to this area and use our stencil and paint it out. Like, let's put it here, paint out this area, and let's paint out this area as well on top of our red material. Let's do some manual painting just like we did for the rust. So I'm gonna start painting it from here and I'm gonna go till the last of it. All right, it's looking fine to me now. Basically in the reference this area has a whole lot of this white color, so we are adding that right now. Not white, it's a pale yellow chip paint, I guess. Anyhow we have to add it because it's in the reference. Let's remove it from here a bit and here as well. All right, I want to add it in between this as well, so I'm gonna add it to this edge and do it manually like this. All right, our fire extinguisher is looking good. Let's add a dirt layer on top of this all. So I am going to create a fill layer, go to its normal and height and change them both to normal, and I am going to only enable color and roughness and normal and height because we have changed them. Now I am going to select this dark brownish color and with the roughness of 0.9, which will behave our dirt like this. Now I'm going to add a black mask and a generator and I'm going to search for dirt, and as you can see it has some dirt at the edges and some strong dirt which we don't want. So I'm gonna go to its mask and adjust it. I'm gonna first of all I'm gonna use triplanar and I'm gonna decrease the dirt level like this, and I'm gonna decrease it more like this. I only want some subtle amount of dirt with more grunge like this one, and I want to play with some grunge scale as well. I'm gonna change its contrast and increase the grunge amount again, and now if I see it in the material it's looking something like this. Now what I will do, I will just copy and paste this layer one more time, and instead of this dirt generator I'm gonna add a fill and I am going to let's search here. I'm going to use any of my grunge. Okay, so let me just try to use this grunge wipe brush with triplanar, and let me just view its mask which is looking like this, and it can be used, but let's try some different options as well. Let's try this grunge concrete dusty. No, not really like it. What will it's grunge dusty powder white, and no, we can search for some dirt and we have some grunge dirt thin. Let's use this. Okay, it's overall and it's looking good. I guess it's looking fine, really fine to me. It is, yeah. Let's try some more grunges. Grunge vibe directional, it is heavy and no, it's not doing the job. Grunge pebbles dirt, this is also looking quite interesting. Okay, this is looking nicer, so I'm gonna go with this one around here, and I'm gonna make this color a bit dull like this, yellowish dull. Yes, like this one, and I'm gonna leave it like this. So this is looking pretty fine to me. I guess this is looking good, a bit good I can say. Now my screws, nuts and these joints have left, so I'm gonna very quickly group them and call it dirt, and now I'm gonna work on them really fast. So for these connectors I think a new material is much needed, which let me just first of all hide all of these, and let me now just go to material and search for some metal. Alright, so what I'll need for them is steel rough. I'm gonna make a group and I'm gonna call it joints, add a black mask, then a paint polygon fill, and select this connector, this one and this one right here. All right, and I am going to change this steel rough from UV projection to triplanar, increase its scaling and change its color something around this color. Okay, and now for the rust, what I'll do, I'll just copy my rust folder and paste it above this steel rough, and I am going to remove this mask so it will have the rust only. And I'm gonna add a black mask and a fill, and I am going to use a grunge which will have more white value like this one to make it bit trusty like this. And also I'm going to use triplanar, and I'm going to increase the tiling, and I'm going to increase the balance because I want them to be more of a rusty side. Yes, so yeah, this is how they're gonna look. Now I'm gonna give this same material to my nuts as well. All right, okay, one is left. All right, let's just check it again. Yes, they're looking good to go. Save them and put them below the dirt because they also need to have some dirt. And let's turn everything back on like this, and this is looking quite fine to me. Let me just change my environment map to Tomoko, Studio Tomoko right here, so it can look even better. It has some good lighting. So I want to make some tweaks in this. First of all, I want to remove this dirt from this white splashed paint. So I'm gonna select this whole folder and drag it at the top of the dirt, so dirt cannot affect this folder anymore. Now I want to increase the saturation of the rust because it's looking a bit dull right now. So I'm gonna go to rust folder in this HSL perceptive, and I'm going to increase this saturation a bit till about I can see the rust clearly. Yes, it's visible right now. I guess 0.7 will work. Okay, it's too much. 0.65. All right, I think this will work just fine. Also, I'm going to change this same in my joints, 0.65. So now we are good to go. So this was the chapter 5D of the course, and in the next chapter we will export the textures. So I'll see you there. Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this chapter we will export our texture maps, and I will tell you some settings to export your textures to render your prop in any game engine. So let's get into it. So once you have finished your texturing, just go to file and click on export textures. The shortcut is Ctrl Shift and E. Now you'll see three options in here. First of all, under this settings, global settings, make sure to check all of your materials. Since we have only one, it's only showing fire hydrant in here. Under output directory, you have to choose the location where you want all of your textures to be. Under output templates, you have to choose from different templates that Substance offer, but we are going to create our own template, so leave it for now. Under file type, you can use any file type you want. I'm going to use PNG, and under this size I am going to use this 4K for all the textures. Now let's come to this output templates. These are the different output template that we can use and customize. So PBR metallic roughness is by default, but we are going to create our own from this. First of all, make a copy of this by clicking here, and let's just rename it the CGI creator _1 because I have already created this template. So let's remember this name, and in here you can see it has a base color which we want. It has a roughness, metallic, normal, height, and emissive. From this, let's delete this emissive. We do not want emissive because we don't have any glowing object in our scene. And also I am going to delete this height as well. Also I'm going to delete this normal as well because we are going to combine normal and height map in a single texture. How we're going to do that is I'm going to create this RGB plus A channel, and I'm gonna copy the name from here and I'm gonna paste it to here, and instead of this metallic I'm gonna name it normal and height. Under this RGB channel I'm gonna drag and drop this normal OpenGL from converted maps and select RGB channels, and under this alpha I'm going to get this height map from input maps and drag it in the gray channel. Now these are the four textures I'm going to export: base color, roughness, metallic, and normal and height, which we can call only normal. So I'm gonna change the name to only normal also. Now we can go to settings and change our output template to the CJ creator _1 that we have just created, and now we can click on save settings, and now we're gonna again hit Ctrl Shift and E, and we can see our settings are up to date. And under this list of exports we can see how many textures are there. So we have 4 textures for each UDIM, and that's why it's showing this 8 UDIMs in here with 4 textures each. So I am now just going to click on export and just wait for a while. Okay, so all of our textures are now has been exported. Let's just click on save settings, save our file one final time and close this. So these are all the baked textures. So this was the chapter 5D of the course. In the next chapter I will show you a trick to enhance your textures to look even better in final render. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this chapter I will tell you a technique through which you can enhance your base color map and make your render looks even more crisp and clear. So in the last chapter we have exported our texture maps, and now what I will do, I will select all of my base colors and I'm gonna hit Ctrl C on my keyboard to copy them. Now I'm going to create a new folder named enhanced base color and I'm going to paste them right here. Now I have to rename them according to their UDIMs. So like this first UDIM, I'm gonna rename it as 1, this as 2, this as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So we are going to basically do a sharpen on them in Blender only. So let's open up a new Blender file. In here you want to go to the compositing tab and click on use nodes. Now I'm going to delete this render layer node and I'm going to press Shift A and search for image, and I'm going to use this image node. Let's connect it here and let's hold Ctrl Shift and click on this node to get our viewer node as well. Now what I'll do, I'll just open our textures that we have just copied and renamed. Let me just very quickly get to them. Yes, I'm gonna start with this first texture, and as you can see it's on our backdrop. Now you can control the backdrop by pressing V on your keyboard. You can scale it down, and if you hit Alt V you can scale it back up. I want it to be at this point so I can show you what I mean by sharpening the textures. Now I'm gonna press Shift A and I'm gonna search for filter node, and I am going to use this node but not as in soften but as in diamond sharpen. So I'm gonna put this node between this image and this viewer node, and as you can see our image just got sharpened up, but I don't want it to be that much sharpened. So I'm gonna set the factor value of this diamond sharpen to be something around 0.6. And if I mute this, you can see this is our texture before and this is our texture after the sharpening. So now I'm just going to connect this diamond sharpen into a composite node as well. And now if I go to the image editor and select viewer node, you can see this is a sharpened image. So I just can press Alt S and save this image on top of this one, the first one. Make sure your compression is 0, and I'm just going to save this, and I'm going to repeat this process for all the images. Let me just bookmark this right here. Let's open our second image now, and it's automatically done because we have our node connected. Now I just have to press Alt S and save it over the second one. Goes for the third one, Alt S. I'm going to set my compression value here so I don't have to change it every time. Let's select the fourth image, press Alt S, there it is. Fifth one, Alt S, there you go. Now I can close this Blender file. We don't want that. So now I'm just rechecking our textures. This is first one, this is second one, this is third one, this is fourth one, this is the fifth and the sixth, seventh and eighth. Alright, so let's give them their proper naming back. I will copy from here. So Ctrl C for first UDIM, Ctrl V, and for each UDIM it will be same, just instead of 1001 it will be 1002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. You can open your image and check its before and after. So this is before and this is the after. Let me zoom in, and in here also let me zoom in. You can see this image is bit more sharpened and this is a bit more softer, so the sharpened image will definitely look better in renders. All now left is preparing the model for Marmoset in Blender and then just render it out in Marmoset. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this chapter I will show you how you can prepare your model with UDIMs for Marmoset toolbag, because as of now Marmoset toolbag did not support UDIM. So basically what we have to do, we have to create separate materials for each UDIM and assign them properly. I'll show you how. First thing I want to do is I want to merge all of these. So before that I am going to apply any modifier. Like in this mesh we have a subdivision surface modifier, so I'm gonna go to here and apply this and hide it, and I'm gonna check for any other modifier that I have for any of these. I don't think so. So let's unhide this, select them all, shift select it to make it an active selection, and hit Ctrl J to merge them in one single object like this. Now if you go to edit mode, you will see these have 8 UDIMs and a single material called fire hydrant. We cannot do that. Let's just let's just delete this material, and let's give it 8 different materials. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. It will need 8 different materials because it has 8 UDIMs. Let's name them according to our UDIM, like 1001, 1002, 1003. I'm just double clicking here to rename them. 1004. All right. Now select your 1001 and go to edit mode, and make sure you are in face selection mode, and just drag and select your first UDIM and assign this to 1001. Now let's come to 1002. Drag and select your second UDIM and assign this to 1002. Likewise, you have to do for all the UDIMs. Alright, now let's check it once. Select your first material and click on select. Make sure only first UDIM will be selected, and likewise for every UDIM, make sure that individual UDIMs of that name is only selected. One more thing I want to add in here is that I am going to get my cursor at the center of the origin, and I am gonna add a plane in here. So in Marmoset I can add some ground or some alpha in here to make this overall render looks good. So I'm going to add a plane, give it a new material, let's call it base, and if I have to join it with this, I have to add it to another UDIM, which I will do right now. So let's first of all apply its scale and go to edit mode, and now unwrap it, and let's place it at the 9th UDIM, which will be here. I know which will be, it will be here, but let's see it like this. It is our 9th UDIM. So let's adjust this plane's UV in here like this, and we are good to go. Just select it and hit Ctrl J, and as you can see, one more material has been added to our material list, which is base. So yes, now we can just go to file and export FBX, and we can go to FBX and override our fire hydrant which we have exported before. Alright, so this was chapter 6 of the course, and in the next chapter I will show you how you can render your asset in Marmoset toolbag that will be portfolio ready. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Hello guys, welcome to the very last chapter of this course, and in this chapter we will render our fire hydrant in Marmoset toolbag. First of all, let's go to file and import our model. Here is our fire hydrant with the base we have created. Now let's come under materials, and you can see we have all of our materials that we have created in Blender, including our base material which we will start with. So for base I'm going to use this transparency channel. So let me just click here, and I'm gonna use this dither method. So I'm gonna use this gradient alpha for our transparency channel, which I have created in Photoshop, which will be available with the source file of this course, and I'm gonna switch to red channel for it to work. So if you tilt your camera, the navigation is pretty simple in Marmoset as well. You have to hold Alt, and if you click you can drag your view. If you right click and drag, you can zoom in and out, and if you use middle mouse button you can just pan. So as you can see, we have our alpha behaving just the way we want it. Now I'm going to change its color to a bit blackish, and I'm gonna give it some roughness so light can actually reflect on it like this. I want this to look like this. Now very first thing the Marmoset you can do, you can go to your render and you can scroll till you can find this image option, and in here you can set the resolution you want your render to be in. I am going to set it to 2048 by 2048 pixels. You can also come to main camera and check this save frame box, so you get that and you can see exactly what you will get in your render. So I'm going to set my camera view to be something around this, and this is a good time to just call our textures. So I'm gonna first of all go to this 1001 material and click on this normal map box, and under our baked textures I am going to call out this normal map in here. As you can see, it's behaving perfectly because we have exported an OpenGL format of normal map. If you have DirectX format, you have to flip your Y channel in here, but in this case we don't want that. So let's come to our albedo map, and we're not going to use these albedos, we are going to use these enhanced albedos we have done in the last chapter. So open this up. For the roughness, let's go back to our baked textures, and for the metalness as well. So I have to call out each and every material, so let's do that in fast forward mode. Alright, so we have successfully called out each and every textures, and they are behaving good, I can say. Now let's set up our lighting. So for that, go to your sky, and in here you can control the brightness and child light brightness, which we don't have right now. Also you can choose your backdrop. So Right now it's ambient sky. You can choose any color you want in your backdrop, or you can choose the HDRI we are using on our backdrop, or blurred sky if you want, or the ambient sky which was by default. So I'm gonna go with the ambient sky, and I'm going to set its color to something blackish, and I'm gonna decrease its brightness also like this. Also I am going to use this plane we have created. Now if you click on here, you will see you have added a child light, which also you can control from here. If you increase the brightness of this skylight right now, you can see the light is coming from this direction. You can create a gizmo also around your light, and you can change its settings from here. Right now it's a directional light, but let me change it to an omnidirectional light. Let's set it to the directional as it is. I'm gonna go with this gizmo so I can rotate its direction to something I want. I think this is looking fine, but I'm gonna lower its brightness a bit. I don't want it too bright, so this is how it's looking right now. Let me rotate the view. You can rotate the view by holding shift and using your right click. So this view is nice and fine. Now I want to go to render. In here I want to change some settings, like I want to first of all increase the samples to 1k, and I want to change the shadow quality to mega, and I want to use ambient occlusion with some occlusion strength. I think this much is fine. I'm going to turn on local reflections, and as you can see, the reflection on our plane is now visible, and I'm going to increase the reflection to be around this much. Yeah, I think this is fine. You can change this anytime you want, so this is not much of an issue. Now in the output you can find an image and an video option. So let's come to image. First of all, I want to change the samples to 1k and format to PNG. I can leave it like that, but I want to set its location, like where the render will be. So I'm gonna click on here, and I am going to select this render folder as my render location. I am not going to render it out just like this. I'm gonna go to my main camera, and in here we have some post settings like the field of view. You can change the field of view of your objects, but I guess for around 40-43 is fine, because if you increase this field of view and you zoom in, you will see much more perspective on your object, which in some cases is fine but not in this one. So we're not going to use that. I am going to give it a field of view of 40 is fine, I think, and I'll set it like this. All right, now you also can use depth of field, but I'm not going to use this because it will mess up with my backdrop. We will use this in close-up shots, but not in this shot. You can also use some flares if you have some emission on your scene going on, but in this fire hydrant no emissive object is there, so I'm not going to use this as well. Distortion also you can use, like there's a barrel distortion. You can use this if you want. You can make it a bit wider from the center, but I am not going to use that. Chromatic aberration also you can use, but no need in here. Now let's come to this area, which are post effects. In here you can increase the exposure of your render like this, but I'm going to leave it 2.9 or something. Let's leave it to 1, which is by default. You can increase or decrease the contrast of your object like this, but I'm not gonna change this. Also I'm just going to change it a bit, like 0.004. I will increase it by 0.004. And saturation also you can play with, but I'll not. I like it as it is. You can sharpen your image, but don't overdo it because it will not look good. Then you can just use a little bit of sharpen like this. You can also give it some bloom, but that's also not valid in here, so I'm not going to use that as well. You can give your render a vignette effect, which I like and which I will do about this, and I'm also going to increase its softness to be something around this. Now also you can add some grains on your object, but don't overdo it because then it will look like this, and I don't want it. I want only a subtle amount of grains. Now if I go to render, I want to increase the intensity of my reflection. I think this much will looks fine. It's looking fine, yes. So this is how I have set it up my scene for the render. Now let's save your marmoset scene also. Let's name it fire hydrant. Now you can go to render, and you can under image you can click on render image and just wait for a while. It will render out your image like this. So one more thing you can do, you can use ray tracing, and now if you render out, it will be more on the realistic side. I'll show you the difference in the renders. If I go to renders, you can see we have two renders. This is without the ray tracing and this is with the ray tracing. So you can see the difference. In ray tracing, the shadows are more perfect, the shadows are more visible, and without the ray tracing, it's more like a game engine render. So you can use ray tracing for your final renders. Now let's create a turntable for this. Go to animate workspace and select your object, go to scene, add object, and add a turntable for this. And now if you play it from here, you can see a turntable animation has already been added up for you, and it will be on the loop, so you can just render it out and it will play on loop. So let's do that right now. How you're gonna do that? You can come up, you can select your render setup, and just below the image renders you will find a video render format also. Again, set the location for this as well. I'm going to use the same location and set it resolution. I'm going to use 2048 by 2048 and set its format. You can render it out in image format as well as in video format. MPEG4 will give you a MP4 video and AVI will give you a AVI video. So I'm gonna set this, and this compression quality is, the higher it is, the more crisp and good quality render you will get. So I'm gonna set it to 100 and I'm gonna set its samples also to 1K, and I am going to save it once because this will take some time. And now I am going to click on render video, and that turntable animation will get rendered, but it will take some time depending on your machine. Alright, that was a pretty big time, but here's your final video, and this is a simple turntable for your object. You can put it on Instagram or wherever you want, it will be on loop. So this was chapter 7 of the course, and I'll see you in the last video, which will be thanking video, and I'll announce some more courses on that. So I'll see you there. Alright, so here we are at the last video of this course, the closing statement. Thank you for watching this course with me, and if you have reached here, please rate this course on Udemy or Flip Normals wherever you are watching this. This was my very first course, and I have future courses also planned for you guys. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel, the CGI Creator, for all the future updates. Also, thank you for being with me, and I hope you have learned something and it was helpful for you. If you have followed this course, I would love to see your results. Just tag me on Insta at the CGI Creator and use hashtag the CGI Creator as well, so I can see what you have made by watching this course. See you soon in another great course. Till then, keep creating awesome renders.